we all have an identity, right? So we have an identity, and what happened with this identity is from this identity we have thoughts, okay? We have thoughts, and from these thoughts we have actions, and from these actions what we have is we have results. So what happened here, and I realized this, is that I was having this identity of mine, and I was using this let's call it excuse, to basically, in my head I was one person. So you see all this thing of visualization, and you have to first be in the position that you want in your mind before you actually are there. That is true to some point, because if you do that in excess, you're gonna be living in the future, and you're not gonna be, not even want to be present in your actual moment. But you have to go through your actual moment to eventually get there, because even if you don't live your present, when you get the result that you want, you probably are not gonna, first, you're not gonna get there if you don't put the actions, because actions are the thing that determines your result. But as you can see, your thoughts determine your action, and your identity determines your thoughts. So what happens is, one thing is to visualize something, and another thing is to live in a body that you don't like, to live to be a person that you don't like, to all the time trying to escape the person that you are. That's what you are doing when you are living in the future constantly. So you should have a balance between living in the future and visualizing the person that you want to be and who do you want to become, and in the other side, who you actually are right now. Because you should go through a transition. This identity, you're not gonna transform in that person just in 1 month. This transition of identity can take 10 years. So if you try to become or to be a person that you are not, what that is gonna cause to you is this chronic stress, and you're gonna be living in a base level of stress of a 9 or of a 7, and everything you do on top of that is gonna stress you even more. So that is what happened when you burn out. So it's not about working hard as many people think, because if you are working hard in the right things, you're not gonna feel stressed. That's also why a lot of people feel anxious, because they are not doing the things that they should be actually doing. Jeff Bezos says this, that is, stress doesn't come from hard work, it actually comes from not taking care of the things you should be taking care of. So this is what happened, right? And for this, what I just came up is a plan to actually overcome this. So I'm gonna share it to you. And this is something actually very normal between entrepreneurs, between founders, between right now in the population we live in, because people are just are being compared themselves all the time with other person, having high pressure, having having this pressure of I need to be that guy. And there are a lot of good things that happen when you try to do that, but at the same time, if you don't control yourself, you're gonna crash and you're gonna burn out, because you can advance if you go step by step and you try to visualize the future, but you cannot just live in the future and expect that You're gonna be present in the moment to take the actions that are required to actually move forward. So it's like if you are thinking all the time, oh, I should be this guy who is Jack, who have an amazing physique, who do the thing, who is disciplined, who is really in shape, but at the same time you are just thinking more than you are acting. So part of your identity is gonna determine, hey, yes, I'm this type of person, but you don't have to live in the future and don't like yourself because you are not that guy, and so you don't take the actions like go to the gym or eating good, improve or start taking more protein in your meals, which are the actions that actually are gonna get you there. So the first thing or the first habit that I recommend to quit or to calm the burnout is first one, rest. Because what happens when your nervous system is overcharged, everything that you do over that is bad. So you need to, I'm gonna specify here, I'm gonna put rest your nervous system. So your nervous system work when you are working out, when you are working, when you are focusing, when you are doing the things that you have to do. And stress is a thing that requires a lot of energy from your nervous system. And stress is actually a output that you get when you work out, when you read, when you, not too much from reading, but I mean if you are trying to learn something, you're gonna get some kind of mental energy that is gonna give you some stress. So your nervous system needs to recover from that stress. So if you've been accumulating a lot of work and you are burnout, you need to rest. So take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, as many days as you need, and just try to figure out what way, or first of all, what thoughts specifically are you causing that, and I'm gonna put that first. What thing is causing you burnout? Right? So maybe you don't have too much social life. Maybe you don't have your life in place or in balance. Maybe you, I mean, there are three main things that actually are gonna determine how good are you or how good is your mental health, and those are your wealth, your relationships, and your health. So if you like rate how good are you in each one of those, so in your health from 1 to 10, how good are you? In your relationships from 1 to 10, how good are you? I mean, that means that if you're not having social lives, I mean, that is something that actually happens to me. I wasn't having social life because I was isolating, like working in the business all day and working on myself. But like, you cannot do that, like, and doesn't expect to don't have any impact. And you need to try to be more strategic to actually, and I'm gonna put that because it's actually something that I actually think that is so important, that is having more social life, right? Because this is something that is gonna give you more energy. Like when we are around people, there's a study that shows that when we are around people, we have half of the chances to live longer. So if you're isolated, isolation is one of the main components to burnout, to depression, to anxiety. So have a social life, okay? Go out, make plans with friends, have 1 day of the week where you go to a network event or you meet people. there's any point on burning out if you have to stop for 1 week and then you have to come back. So even if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are a person that focus too much and work in his business a lot, try to have moments where you actually are interacting with other human beings, not only with your friends, but actually with people around you, actually with your co-workers. Like, go out, play some paddle. Like, you need that culture in your life. If you are a founder, for example, you can do this in some way of retreat, or some after work, for example. You can do organize things with your co-workers, with your employees, or with your friends. Like, you need to have this in place, because it's gonna. And the fourth is actually walk, sunlight, and reduce stimuli. I think it's wrong, Byron. Well, you understand the point. Sorry, my English. I forget how to write that word. But reducing stimuli is basically what is gonna, because your nervous system is overcharged, so you need to basically start to don't give to your nervous system too much work. So to do that, reduce the stimuli. I remember how to write it. Simulates. There you go. So reduce the stimulates that, for example, I'm talking about music. I'm talking about hearing, like, people or listen to music with your headphones, or for example, consuming information. Like, try to reduce that, because that is gonna just overcharge your nervous system even more. So do all those, and you're gonna recover fast. But not only that, you're gonna also feel better about you're gonna feel refreshed. But also, you want to eliminate the main reason on why you are feeling burnout, because there is any point on curing your burning out and then happen to you again. So if you know you need to have more social life, you need to have better habits of walk, sunlight, reduce stimuli, and all that, you need to have a system in place to do that. And what I'm talking about is, when you recover, plan, have 1 day a week at least, or 2 days a week, when you go and meet with people, for example. Or if you want to, for example, walk and have sunlight, schedule 1 day, like every morning, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, go for a walk and take sun. I mean, that is gonna give you so much better life balance, that you actually, I mean, you need to be, I like these things of obsession and being completely obsessed with something. But when you watch even highly successful people, they get there by, in some way, having some things in place. For example, like the social life. For example, when you see like successful people like Elon Musk, when he was building, for example, PayPal, he was with his co-workers, with his brother, with people around him that actually helped him, and he was interacting with, and he wasn't alone just building his company. So even highly like a person like Elon, which is like really hardcore in how he drives his companies, if you are watching this and you want to be like an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur or a businessman or an executive, when you see persons like Elon, he have a work balance in some way, in his own way, because he understands that what things are important. Maybe he don't work out too much, but he have a component that is work balance, or social life, or he enjoy building the company with people, because people is important. So I think one of the main things that we discuss here is the importance of having a social life, of actually socializing. And I can talk about this on my own experience, because this is something that when I started to going on my own, I left a lot of friends because I thought they weren't enough for me. So, or they weren't aligned with the person that I wanted to be. So everything started there. So when I started to visualizing myself in the position that I wanted to be, there's a very empty and lonely path in the middle between the person you are right now and the person that you want to be. And the thing is, and I just realized this, is that you can basically go all that path alone, but if you go alone and you don't live the moment, when you get the result that you want, you're gonna feel empty, and you're gonna go and try vices and try to calm and cure the pain that you have, the emotional pain, the psychological pain, with vices, and cure it with your money, the money that you work so hard to get. So it's so important to have your health in place. And when I talk about health, I talk about mental health and physical health. Both are important. You're not gonna be in perfect balance if you are a person who likes to do things in a hard way. I'm that type of person. That's what I'm talking about. So I hope this video was useful. It takes me a lot of time to actually realize this, because before I thought it was just a thing of working too much. But actually it's not about working too much, it's about not having some key components that actually gave me the burnout situation, where there are some weeks. There's a week where I just couldn't work out for a whole week, and I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't read, I just wanted to sleep. I spent the whole week sleeping. So you don't want to get to that moment if you are feeling burnout. So make sure you actually are taking care of this before it's late. And you can also follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want to work one-on-one with me in your fitness to operate at your peak performance in terms of health and body, then there's a link down below where I explain the 7 changes that actually drops your testosterone down. Check that video, and at the end you can book a call with me if you want to work side by side. Subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video.